welcome to another episode of Mick and the Fat Man, where we are talking artists, albums, and everything music. Well, welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Mick and the Fat Man, Series 4, episode number 11. G'day, Mick. Happy rock and roll to you, sir. And how are you travelling?
Mate, I'm still travelling fantastically. Yeah, medical issues aside, and where else could they realistically be? All is well.
Fantastic. And I, too, am fighting fit, not. Did I tell you I had to have a skin graft on my knee?
Oh, that's because you were pissed in trying to walk up to the Mick and the Fat Man studios.
Yep. Fell down and ended up being in hospital and having a skin graft.
Don't drink, kiddies.
Yeah, there's a sober warning. Nice one. So that was really good, and my knee now looks really nice with a skin graft on it because they always look so beautiful, skin grafts.
It looks like somebody's painted a different colour tone on your knee.
Mm. I don't know how wise it was to use scrotal skin on it because it does have some rather unusual effects.
You've got the hairiest knee in the whole city.
Very hairy. And it contracts for no reason that I can see.
I thought it was really funny when you were watching TV the other day and your leg stood up all by itself.
I know, I'm going to stop watching porn.
Yeah.
Let's move on, shall we? Mick, I know you've got another exciting episode planned. We're going to get straight into this one, mate.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get that beautiful pink Globite travel bag out and I'll just get you to open it up. And what have you got in there, mate?
Mate, this week, a couple of weeks ago, I went and saw Nick Cave.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
At the Wollongong Entertainment Centre. And I've got to tell you, much in all as I've been a fan of Nick for many, many years, that was probably the best show that I've ever seen. And that includes John Cale.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a big rap.
That is a big rap. That is a mighty big rap.
It was a sensational show. Yeah, and we talked about Ghosteen a year or so back in our album selections, and I think we're a bit unduly harsh on it.
We need to revisit, don't we?
I think we do, in light of what we're going to talk about here today, because Nick did so many songs from all the stages of his career, and again I'll talk about that in some detail. That really means that I've got to go back and have a look at some of those bits of his career where I've thought, oh, that's not as good as others. That's not as good. It's bloody fantastic. Everything that he did was fantastic. So yeah, you can tell this is going to be a fanboy froth. It will be.
I mean, I love Nick, but I probably haven't been quite as into Nick as you have over the years. All right, well, we'll get on to that in a minute. But first of all, I'd like to give everybody a bit of an update on all the news that is rock. All the news that is rock. All the news that is rock is here right now. That's right, folks. We've got a bit of rock news going on, and I've just saw the other day, and I thought I'd let you know that Lenny Kravitz has revealed that he's still sticking to his vow of celibacy. So that's good news. He made the pledge back in 2005, and has been on the spiritual journey ever since. It basically came about after his split with Lisa Bonnet, so he decided that because he was a bit of a player back in those days, and so he's hanging around looking for the right person. But anyway, Ice-T has thought he'd make a bit of a comment about it, and he said something on the lines of 9 years without sex? Fuck that bullshit. Weirdo shit. So pretty subtle. And then someone wrote back and said, "That's wrong, Ice. He's not weird. That's his own journey.
Yeah.
Ice responds, fuck that journey.
He's been known as a bit of a pants man himself, Ice-T.
Look, it's not a journey Ice-T wants to be on, but Lenny's obviously enjoying it, it's great to...
Stupid, really. But,
doesn't make any sense.
But it's his choice.
Now, this is interesting. Andy Summers basically said that back in the day they were all total babes in the Police. They were good-looking dudes.
Sting never did it for me.
Oh, I don't know. You've always been an Andy fan, haven't you?
Oh, I love Andy.
It was 35 years ago. The Police scored the first UK single, Can't Stand Losing You, and Andy's declaration in a new interview that the trio weren't exactly a boy band, but they caused draws to drop.
What?
We were cute guys, he reckons. This is what I pulled out of this article. We were cute guys, said the 81-year-old.
Unbelievable.
We were nice-looking guys. Everybody went mad because we were completely sellable as a pop unit. If the three of us were together and we turned up anywhere, a huge crowd would appear. It was one of those moments and we were at the forefront of it. We weren't exactly a boy band, but we had tremendous adulation and appeared to the female section of the audience, to put it politely.
That's because they were walking around with a bloke with a stripy black and yellow T-shirt on.
I know. So anyway, yeah, so that's interesting. I just love the fact that the 81-year-old said,
Unreal.
back when I was in my 30s. Actually, he was a bit older than the rest of them, wasn't he, Andy?
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you, speaking of Andy Summers, it's not an uncommon name, Andrew Summers. And John Cale, at one point, his manager was called Andy Summers. His name was Andrew Summers. And so I, back in the 80s, I rang up John Cale's manager and said, look, I want to come over and I want to see him and I want to meet him. And this guy, he was lovely. And he said, that's okay. I won't bother with the American accent. But he said, that's okay. I'll organise some tickets for you at the Bottom Line in New York. And we talked a little bit and I said, and he said, yeah, you can meet John and do all the things that, all the fanboy things that you want to do. And so I got to the Bottom Line and I said, hello, I've got some tickets put aside for me by Andy Summers. And instantly they thought that Andy Summers, had put tickets away for me.
Because they were females and they knew he was a babe.
That's exactly right, yeah. So tickets at every venue in the place.
They're thinking, this guy might be able to hook me up with Andy Summers.
That's exactly
and the rest of the boys.
Yep.
Because he's a total babe.
Well, they were talking about me then, of course.
Wow.
This is a long time ago. So talk about a near miss with history, but different history.
Well, it's kind of, I think this brings it back into context a little bit, that, how much they were they were able to woo the female sex across to them because they were such good lookers. Yep. Anyway, speaking of good lookers, the Angels have announced their first album in a decade. 91 will be released via Bloodlines on June 28 and is a follow-up to the 2014 album Talk the Talk. The band's new album with their new singer, Nick Norton, no idea who he is, who joined the band on drums in 2011.
He's a drummer.
And replaced Dave Gleason on the mic last year. So, I'll be looking forward to that. Is there anybody in the Angels that were in the Angels?
No, I think they're all gone.
The Brewster brothers gone?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
So, another one of these bands where the name continues on and there's no one left.
That's very, very true. For my sins, I went and saw the Animals recently, who were touring.
Recently?
Yeah. I couldn't believe the only original member of the Animals that's in the band. There's a friend of mine convinced me to do it, and anyway,
ex-friend.
No, he paid for the tickets, and I think that was only right.
Still even more of an ex-friend.
Yeah, and it was the drummer, and he was 81. I thought, how do you still bloody hold the sticks at 81? But they were all right. They were a cover band, basically. operating under the name of the Animals and doing Animals songs.
Same with the Angels. They'll be a cover band as well.
Well, that's exactly right.
Basically.
For my money, without Doc, they're not the Angels.
No, without doubt. Without doubt. Without Doc, without doubt.
Exactly.
Speaking of new albums, Christine Anu, My Island Home, is also got a new album coming out. And it's called Waku, or Waku, I don't know how you pronounce it. Waku Mineral Minale is the name of the album.
I looked at that on the page and I had no idea on that.
It's part of her Indigenous language. And she's done it in collaboration with David Bridie from Not Drowning Waving. So that'll be a little bit wacky, I dare say, if you've ever listened to any of his stuff.
I have,
He's done a lot of stuff. He did a lot of stuff in New Guinea and those sorts of sounds from there as well.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Not my cup of tea generally, but,
Some of it's quite interesting and some of it's not. So, anyway, I'll be looking forward to the Christine Anu album.
Yeah.
She's always been fun.
Yeah. She's got a nice voice.
She's a lovely voice, very smooth. She's on. Heard her on radio, and she's been in a few TV programs. She was in this TV program. I can't remember what it was called now, but she was disabled. She was in a wheelchair.
Good heavens!
And there was a guy who was into weird sexual sort of activities. I remember she came into a room one time and she's looking for the guy, but little did she know he was suspended from the ceiling with sort of meat hooks and that sort of. I don't know what the show was.
You'll have to show me your streaming history, Jeffrey.
You don't want to see my streaming history. It's weird shit. You go down rabbit holes in the world of
You certainly do.
You do indeed. You get all sorts of weird stuff coming up. Oh, very weird stuff. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today, mate. So I think we just might kick straight on into a bit of Nicky Boy.
Nick Cave. Now, I don't think there's anybody who hasn't heard of Nick Cave, but I do think that there's a fair tranche of people who don't know anything about Nick Cave. So we might touch on him first of all with a bit of history, but what I found, Cave is very polarising. He's never been backward and never been unconfident in his presentation of his music from the stage, all the way back to the Birthday Party, which, if you know anything about the Birthday Party, was an interesting band. I love it. But, yeah, of course I do. Yeah, as you would say. But not everyone does, and I can understand that. Some people call him pretentious, which means attempting to impress by affecting greater importance or merit than is actually possessed. So I don't think the description of pretentious really applies to Nick, because everything he says he is. I read a thread recently on Reddit talking about Cave, which was an opportunity for some of these people who don't know anything about Nick Cave or have heard one song and didn't like it to pile on. And there's an excerpt, and I'll just read it as it is without attributing it to people. Mark E. Smith from The Fall, I don't know if you know the Fall's work, described Nick Cave as music for surly virgins. Which I thought
that's you, isn't it?
That was a terrific description. Yeah. Oh, I'm not surly. And Mark E. Smith, Manchester, he's very, very not backward about coming forward with the things he says. Cave takes himself so seriously, and really he's quite up his own arse. This is Mark Smith talking. He talks about how musicians channel God rather than write. Sometimes, all right. It's not just Nick who does that. Yeah, it's other musicians and other authors and other writers throughout history who've said the same thing. He's someone who nothing has come along to contradict his own sense of self-importance. I don't know. I guess the melodrama that is inherent in a lot of his work is his appeal for fans. But to me, he's just a bargain bucket John Cale. Well, since I like Cale as well, I get the win. Thread goes on for ages. And look, if I wanted to be unkind, I would say to the people who slagged off Cave that if you don't understand something, shut your face. Really, if you don't understand it, that's the usual response we would expect, insults along these lines.
Yeah, sad.
And it happens with a lot of musicians and a lot of good musicians who get hammered for various things, particularly with the internet. It gives every idiot with a keyboard the opportunity of feeling some power.
I know it has changed things. It's brought the clueless to. It's brought the clueless credibility.
I like that. And brought them to the table.
That's it.
Yep.
With people going, yes, but did you see Des? He doesnhe doesn't like Nick Cave.
Oh, Des, no one likes his work anyway.
No, that's right. Anyway,
Cave's been around since the 70s. He was born in 1957.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
that was
quite a lot, about 20 years older than us.
Much older, exactly right. Look, his career has spanned music, bands, production, soundtracks. He's done a bloody lot of stuff, and he's not afraid to dip his oar into pretty much anything that's there, and different media. Writing, painting.
He was going to be a painter when he left school. But
I think that might have been one of the, as we all do, one of the things that goes through your mind for a little while.
But he was not particularly encouraged by his art teacher at school, because his last painting that he did at school was of a strong man looking up the tutu of a ballerina, and she thought it was vulgar.
Well, it's just summed up Nick in one word.
And sort of put him back, and he failed his art in his high school.
Oh, that's a bit of a shame, but good for us.
Yeah.
In 73, he went to Caulfield Grammar in Victoria, and he
Is that
formed
one of those posh schools?
I think so. Yeah, not Scots or Kings or something,
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever their names are.
It's a fancy one. There's a fancy one down there where the king. Where'd the king go? Charles.
Gordonstown in Tasmania.
Didn't he go to something grammar?
Oh, I don't know.
Geelong Grammar.
Really?
I think so. One of those.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, this grammar's in Caulfield.
And you're close to horse racing. That's the main thing.
Oh, that's important. And this band, The Boys Next Door, so it's Cave's first band. Come back to that one later. But in that band, Mick Harvey, who stayed with Cave for 30 years.
Still there, is he still there?
No, he's left. He left the bad seeds to go off and do other things. He'd been working with Cave since school.
Ah.
Yeah. Phill Calvert, who was with the Birthday Party and then went off and formed Blue Ruin, which is another band in that Cave oeuvre of weird black stuff and confrontational music. But I liked him. Mm-hmm. I know you're surprised at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And a couple of other people who, as is the case with early bands, don't really kick on. The repertoire, believe it or not, cover versions of songs, as all bands, even Ocean did that. Yeah, cover versions of songs. Lou Reed, David Bowie, Alice Cooper, Roxy Music, and Alex Harvey.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I thought, well, anyone who covers Alex Harvey naturally has to get to a position where we're aware of him.
Sure.
That band went on to become the Birthday Party.
Okay. Just morphed into it, did it? Or,
yeah. As things happen. Birthday Party is one of the bands who's credited with the start of Gothic music or goth music.
Mm.
Now, their hair was a bit goth, but a bit hard to see. And that there wasn't. It's not as mopey as goth music, and it's not as regular and syncopated as I find goth music to be. But I can see a little bit of it. Heavy bass from Tracy Pugh.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. And Nick's gone on a lot of other musical incarnations. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Grinderman, which is an offshoot band that he plays occasional shows with.
Mm-hmm.
Allows him to do a bit more rocky stuff. Lots and lots of solo work. Other solo as distinct from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Yeah, sure.
He's done lots of soundtracks. And I'd point one to you, a movie called Lawless from 2012, and you might like to download that on your streaming service. It's not specifically Nick Cave-ish. It's actually a film set in the Prohibition era USA.
Oh.
But Cave did the soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
And it's really very, very good. Shia LaBeouf, Tom Hardy, Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so a really nice movie, well acted, and it's about struggle and strife in the Prohibition with people brewing alcohol and doing
What's the Australian the Australian movie that he wrote? The Western.
What's it called? The something of Jesse James.
Yeah.
The outlaw Jesse James. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't have it off the top of my head.
That was a good movie.
Yep. He did dabbling in writing. He wrote his first book was called And the Ass Saw the Angel, which I've got to tell you, I love Nick and I love a lot of his incarnations, but that was a shit book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was one of those, don't worry about grammar, don't worry about proper punctuation, don't worry about a story even.
Okay.
Some nice bits, but yeah.
Probably won't read it.
Yeah, I don't think you would want to read it, no. Even if you could download it and have someone read it out to you, don't bother.
Yeah, okay. Done. Tick.
His musical work, some of his early stuff, was featured in a film by Richard Lowenstein called Dogs in Space.
Oh, I've seen bits of that.
Yeah?
That's weird shit.
That's a great movie. I love that movie. If you can ever find it, I don't know that you will.
I've seen bits of it on YouTube. Not all of it.
Yeah, the whole movie is set around a share house in Melbourne, and it's extreme. It really, you think, well, bloody hell, why would you want to live in that? But everyone who lives in the share house has their own room, supposedly. Yeah, and there's a lot of morphing between that, and there was one fellow who'd bring a girl home, and they'd know when he was about to do the deed because he'd put on Another Green World by Brian Eno. And they're all out in the street going, no, don't do it. So, in this film, Dogs in Space, Cave performed parts of the Boys Next Door song, Shivers. I've been contemplating suicide. Don't know it?
Nope.
It's a lovely song. It really is.
It's a lovely song. Touching. Get you right in
It is. It is. Beautiful lyrics. He didn't write it.
Oh.
We'll come back to that one.
Okay.
He reminds me, because he's such almost a Renaissance man. He reminds me of
Leonardo da Vinci.
No, Eno for Night People. Yeah, because writing, art, poetry, production, music, collaboration, like we talked about last week, with a whole lot of different people doing a lot of different styles. And he's not afraid to have a go at something, which is really good. Which is, well, Leonardo da Vinci, sure, but I'm not saying he's Leonardo da Vinci, but certainly that puts him in the Eno box, who that description would fit. Look, his wonderful vocabulary, his nihilistic attitude, particularly with the birthday party, the documentary, which I downloaded recently called Mutiny in Heaven. God. Watch it just for the chaos that they lived in at that time. It was some wonderful music, confrontational music. Kylie Minogue's not.
Okay.
But great music, terrific playing. But they pick fights with the audience, and they are really bad heroin habits. And they shared those. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Busy boys.
Busy boys indeed, yeah. No money in England in winter. Oh, yeah, so that was pretty hard.
Awful.
I never saw the birthday party live, but I wish I had. Based on this documentary, I'll have to content myself with just having some of their albums.
What year were they around?
80s.
80s. Oh, okay.
Early 80s.
We were doing things in 80s.
Yeah.
Life was catching up to us.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, not at the time, but later on you think, oh, God, I missed that.
I think I was breeding and studying.
Yeah. God, two things you'd never want to do now.
No.
Absolutely now. Cave's father was an English teacher and his mother was a librarian. He never had a chance.
No. God.
He's got a massive command of the English language. His lyrics alone you could read as poetry. They're just wonderful the way he does things. He's got two older brothers, and through them he became a fan of prog rock.
Oh, really?
Nick Cave, Prince of Darkness, prog rock.
Can't see it.
Yeah.
Wonder what he was into. Any ideas?
Yeah. Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
Jethro Tull. King Crimson.
Okay.
Some of their earlier stuff was all right, but King Crimson, like most of these prog bands, sort of vanished up their own arse and it became unlistenable.
I think one day we should do a episode on Egg, Now, there's one of the prog bands that you will never want to listen to.
Yeah, I know a little bit about them, and I don't want to know any more.
They're the band that has one song on an album, you know.
It's not unusual, though.
No, sir.
So he's got a theatrical use of words in his songs. Machine gun-like delivery of his imagery. Yeah, the song Papa Won't Leave You, Henry, which is on an early album. It's on Henry's Dream. Yeah. And, pap, 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 images, one after the other one. It's interesting. I remember reading a review, funnily enough, it was in Rolling Stone at the time, that said, talking about that album, and it criticised Cave. It says, and he's bellowing on about this, that and the other as usual. I thought, oh, God. One day they'll do a good review of something.
Well, they do good reviews, but not of interesting things.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. I've never heard anybody else use the phrase "a murder of crows" in any songs. But the Carney, and we'll play a little bit of that about a carnival that tours from town to town and gets washed out by a flood, and the Carney vanishes. The Carney, who's the leader. And he vanishes, and a murder of crows did gather around, flapping blackly down. Oh. I thought, you might say, well, that's great sixth form poetry, but it's not. It's great. You got a little bit there for us, have you?
Yeah.
Away, away, we're sad to say. Dog boy, Atlas, Mandrake, the geeks, the hired hands. There was not one among them that did not cast an eye behind in the hope that the Carney would return to his own kind.
So the whole song's a bit like that. It's a whole narrative poem about where the Carney's gone and what happens to the rest of the people with that papa, almost doom-laden papa in the background.
Yes, there's a bit. Does paint a picture, doesn't it?
Yes, he's very well. Cave's first show that he saw, live international show, was Manfred Mann, Deep Purple, and Free. Now I can remember that tour. I was too young to go, but
you remember that tour?
Yeah. Looking at it, thinking, God, I wish I could go to that, but I was just a wee bit too young.
Manfred Mann, Deep Purple, and Free.
Well, that's a good bill. Deep Purple and Free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cave's been quoted as saying, "I remember sitting there and feeling physically the sound going through me." And he name checked early '77. He saw Radio Birdman and the Saints. Isn't it nice how everything goes around in circles? We still see the Saints in the form of Ed Cooper.
We do indeed.
Yeah. He's very forthcoming in his praise for other musicians where it's warranted.
Yeah.
He'll tear strips off someone if he doesn't like them.
Does he?
No, not often. He's not. He's not a mean. Certainly, in his public persona, he doesn't come across as mean. But if there's a blue to be had, he won't step back from it.
No, fair enough.
But he referred to John Cooper Clarke. Now, I would imagine that a lot of people don't know John Cooper Clarke, but he's again from Manchester, a poet, a rock poet, as they say. He talks very fast.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and wonderful stuff. I'll put something in the playlist of John Cooper Clarke because I always loved him. I heard him when I was a teenager and I thought, this is something I've never heard before, nothing like it. And you can see how Cave follows that in some ways.
Because it's the same sort of machine gun of imagery, isn't it?
Yeah. And really creative imagery. Yeah, and Rowland S. Howard, who was a member of the birthday party, he described during the concert that I saw recently. He described Howard joining him in the Boys Next Door, which were in Cave's only words. He said, "Put kindly, they're a pretty piss poor rock and roll band." But he talked about, and I'll talk about that again. He introduced the song "Shivers." He said, "Rowland was just 16 when he wrote this, and it's still one of the greatest pieces of poetic song lyric that I've ever heard." Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, it goes, "I've been contemplating suicide, but it doesn't really suit my style. So I think I'll just act bored instead."
Jesus,
to contain the blood I would have shed. So that's a nice lyric for a 16-year-old, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
He had troubles.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And look, and he, as I say, he can be critical, not least of his own stuff. He's really hard on himself. He didn't like the Boatman's Call.
Oh, really?
Which is, it's a nice album. It's got some good stuff on it, particularly when viewed with the light of history. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I saw him on his recent solo tour with just him on piano and Colin Greenwood from Radiohead on bass.
Oh.
I got to tell you, I've been a bit dismissive of Radiohead, other than their earlier stuff. I thought they were all right. But on the basis of Colin Greenwood's playing with Nick Cave, I'm going to go back and have a listen to Radiohead's collection of stuff. And he was terrific. He wasn't your 70s thumper bass player. He played to create atmosphere.
Oh.
Rather than create a rhythm. You don't need to. You got a piano. Piano does the rhythm.
It's an unusual collaboration, though, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah. But this guy was there, and so two musicians on the stage, and he would rarely would you hear anything that would be what you might assume would be a normal bass playing. You know, you'd hear held notes, sustain, that sort of thing, and runs underneath the music.
Yeah, right.
All to create this atmosphere, and he just did it so bloody well. And I must confess, I've started having a listen to some Radiohead stuff, and he is so damn good.
Interesting.
Can you see a Radiohead episode coming up soon? Maybe.
I've only really liked Creep. And that's the song they hate.
But that is too, yeah. Well, I was with them all the way up to OK Computer. I liked all of that stuff, but later on I thought they were getting a bit vanished up their own fundamental. But I'm going to have a listen now, purely on the strength of Colin Greenwood's bass.
I kind of just missed them, They just sort of were there, and someone said to me when I was working, "Oh, I really like Radiohead," and I went, "Good for you. I don't even know what you're talking about." Yeah, but yeah, I'm going to have a listen and try and work out why we should and why all of you out there should. All right, okay. Phill,
the audience for Nick Cave, right? Prince of Darkness was mixed.
Old people.
No,
what?
It's skewed older. Do you like that? That's very technical talk, isn't it? It's skewed older, but it wasn't too much and it wasn't completely.
Oh, okay. A few young'uns.
Yeah, lots more young people than some of the concerts we've been to over the last year or three. Good balance of females.
Was there any? Did you ever get a feeling that they all wanted to see murder ballads or something like that?
Some, but not overwhelming. There was. It struck me as a good appreciation of Nick Cave. Probably looking forward to his later stuff. Whereas me, I was looking for his 5,000.
Oh, that big? Okay,
yeah.
Bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it's not a bad venue. Good sound. Yeah, so I was really happy with that. There were a few there who still thought it was 1990 and that they had to dress accordingly. But there wasn't too much. It wasn't. Sometimes you go to see a band and you think it's on. The audience is a tribute show.
Was there jeans and black T-shirts?
There was a few of those, yes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't overdone. And funnily enough, I didn't wear my my Nick Cave Big Day Out 1992 T-shirt because the bloody silverfish had got to it in the cupboard and eaten his head.
Oh, what?
Which is a bit of a shame. Tends to lower the value of your T-shirt if someone's eaten the artist's head. But that's another story.
You got to get rid of the silverfish, mate.
I know. I only found they were there after.
Holy hell, you got bloody 60 Harley Davidson T-shirts there, and they could all be now called Darley Davison.
Some of them are Harleys.
Harley. Yeah. Harley Davidson.
Yeah. Look, I've checked a few of the reviews of the tour because it was all Australia, and I think he's done some Europe dates as well.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, but my assessment of his shows tied in with the experts.
What's going on there?
It's frightening. I've got my letter in the mail to Rolling Stone as we speak.
Complaining.
Well, I've given them two reviews. One of the concert as it actually happened, and two with my own bias, with sort of unspoken biases put in there and unfair criticisms. So I think that's the one they'll go with.
Yeah, they would.
But so I'm looking forward to that as a job.
They want something to live on in history that will make them look even stupider than what they already are.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The song selection, he played so much. Look, so much of Cave's material has keyboards and organ variants. Yeah, so that, or Warren Ellis's violin. Yeah, and he's been a member of the Bad Seeds for quite a number of years, and Cave's done a lot of soundtrack work with Warren Ellis, who's also in the Dirty Three, which is touring Australia as we speak.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, mostly sold out. So
you won't be going there.
I won't be. Yeah, he's on down the road.
Back at the Wollongong
in August. No, in Thurul, believe it or not.
In Thurul?
Yes.
In the pub?
No, in the theatre there. That's actually getting to be quite a venue on the touring circuit.
Well, they only come down to go to the beach, don't they?
Why not? Why not? And there's a pub across the road and a couple of nice restaurants. There's a tequila bar next to the theatre.
And the other thing is, because you like going to the beach so much, you'll be seeing a lot of these musos down there.
I don't know how I find time to do anything else between going to the beach and
up early for the tide and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
Get the offshore wind
and take the what's the longboard, the Malibu,
the big, just called the longboard. But you like a bit of body surfing as well, don't you?
Oh, I can't get enough surf and sand and salt and I just take down my waterproof Walkman and listen to the Beach Boys.
Hello,
yeah. The music that he played live was a bit like, I know you like the album Fragments of a Rainy Season by John Cale, which has been described as an intro album to John Cale because of it's like a vertical slice of his career, songs right from the start all the way through. Yep. And Cave's selection of material for this show, it was a long show, a couple of hours, was exactly the same. He did things all the way back to Shivers by the Boys Next Door. Yeah. Lots of early stuff. Yeah, because there's always, you go to see bands and I only want to play my more recent stuff.
Well, this is our more recent album from start to finish.
Yeah, boring.
And here's the only song you really came to watch.
That's exactly right. But Nick didn't do that. He did those earlier songs, but put such joy into the treatment. It was just awesome. Anna, of course, she didn't want to go. Didn't care whether she went or not. And I must say, I was feeling a bit flat that day. So I thought, right, we'll go and see how it goes. Haven't stopped talking about it since. It's probably one of the best shows we've ever seen. And that includes the stuff that we didn't know well.
Did she like it too?
Absolutely frothed. I couldn't believe that a Nick Cave show could be so good. Mm. Yeah.
So you can now play Nick Cave for breakfast and not get into trouble.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Right. Yeah. Fantastic.
And he did Mercy Seat. So that day, I'd been listening to our playlist for Johnny Cash. So I listened to the original from Tender Prey. Yeah. Then the Johnny Cash version, and then that night I heard him do a solo version on the piano with with that atmospheric bass underneath it, which was a good example of he could have done dun 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 the Mercy Seat, but he didn't. It was just dun, that atmospheric bass sound, that vibrato, and it was really, really so strong, so powerful. He didn't lose anything by not having the Bad Seeds backing him up.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you can hear Johnny Cash's version, that's about as stripped back as you can get as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is comparable to that. Yeah. Just his piano and a bit of atmospheric bass.
Yeah, cool. Very interesting.
On Spotify, someone's gone to a great deal of trouble to create a playlist of Nick Cave's of the songs done by Nick Cave during this show. Yep. So I'm not going to recreate that. I'm going to put a link to that list so you can see what a range of stuff he did and what fabulous songs he did.
Be interesting to see if he puts an album out of the live show.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. But again, the difference between an album and the show,
if it's recorded well, it should sound good. Particularly,
it should.
When you haven't got a lot of instruments and stuff like that, it might sound quite good.
Anyway. Yeah. Well, you can always hope, can't you? Yep. Yeah. And he's touring next year with the Bad Seeds, so that'll be good to go and see a comparison of it. He talked to the crowd. It was like Prince of Darkness. Nothing. He was happy to be there. He was really he often broke the fourth wall. He wasn't this aloof entertainer who was there and said, "I think you're going to like the next song. It's a song I wrote." Blah blah. He stopped and talked, and he was garrulous with the crowd, and he didn't do any call and response stuff because it wasn't that type of a show. But he did get a bit of a sing along going between the people on the sides, on the arch, whatever you call that, in
the dress circle-y thing, not
the balconies on either side and the floor.
I would have liked to have seen. Come on, everybody, clap your hands.
Well, he actually referenced that and didn't do that specifically, but he talked about it. So he did a sing-along. There's a song called Balcony Man. And so he said, when we get to the bit about Balcony Man, you in the balconies shout and wave your hands. So, and he encouraged a sing-along during Into Your Arms.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So I don't know if he said do a sing-along, but it was going to happen anyway, so he didn't say don't do that.
No, nice.
That's not stupid. And look, that's probably okay, as it's become one of those, it's almost a wedding song, Into Your Arms, or a funeral song.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice song.
Yeah. So, but he did put a bit of seriousness on it. He says later on, I want to play a song that's very personal. So I don't need a sing-along from the balcony or any shout-outs from the floor or any interpretive dancing. Because what he meant by interpretive dancing, you've seen these shows, with this particular demographic. You always got two women who think that the world wants to see them dancing out the front of the crowd, between the front row of seats and the stage. Which it wasn't a mosh pit type of show, so there was room, and they were doing this dancing. All right, okay, you're enjoying the show. That's fine. It didn't affect.
But
me.
they really did. There really were people doing it.
No, they were in the audience.
They could have been.
And they were so moved by the songs that they thought they better get up and dance. Moved by Nick Cave doing stuff on a piano that they better dance. Hence his comment about interpretive dancing.
It's not a thing, is it?
No, it's not.
Not a thing at all.
And then his laughing and joking and getting into it with the crowd. He's towards the finish. He said, "Come on. Have you never been to a rock show before? You know how it goes. I go off stage pretending it's the end of the show, which we both know it's not. Then I come back pretending to be surprised at the cheering. Of course I'll do another song. How could I not?"
Yeah, I've come to that world as well, thinking, don't walk off and make us sit here and clap, because I really can't be bothered. Just do the whole concert.
Yeah.
And so that's it.
He did it, but in a mocking way. He did it. Yeah. It was a very long show. But look, he's never shortchanged his audience. Any time I've ever seen him, he leaves it all there on the stage. He's really always gives his all.
Yeah.
He finished with, and one of the reviewers, in fact, several of the reviews that I read didn't understand. He finished with the Seekers song, "The Carnival Is Over."
Oh yeah.
Which, if you didn't know Nick Cave's back catalogue, you'd think, okay, what's he trying to say here? This is the end of the show, the carnival is over, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually a song from his album Kicking Against the Pricks, where he did cover versions of a whole lot of different songs. And he was quoted way back then as saying, this particular album, I learnt so much about songwriting from picking these great songs by other people. How they structured the song, how they started, finished, middle age, all of that sort of thing. Yeah, so he learned a lot. I think by this stage, but he's doing Carnival is Over, he had the audience eating out of his hand.
Did he do Puff the Magic Dragon as well?
No, he didn't. No, Judith Durham couldn't make it for that show.
Bugger.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
Yeah, thanks for that. Newer fans, I think, thought it was a bit irreverent. And they liked that, the irreverence of him doing Carnival is Over. The older fans like the reference back to such an early album.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The album Kicking Against the Pricks shows some of Cave's religious background as well. Kicking Against the Pricks is St. Paul on the road to Damascus, resisting the pain of the thorn bushes as he fell into the thorn bushes when God was talking to him. Yeah, so they say. But that's what the album title comes from.
Yeah, right. Okay. I didn't realise that was in the Bible. That's all.
Yeah. So look, much of Cave's stuff is biblical references because he's smart. He's not an idiot. He does references from literature, from the Bible, from religion, from educated, really super smart educated people over hundreds of years. So it's worth reading his lyrics, for what he does, and that's why comments that I started in with that stream of Reddit. So, if you're going to pan Nick Cave for that, at least know what you're talking about.
Now, look, Mick, I might just play a little bit of a interview that I have with Nick here.
Oh, yes.
Where he talks about a little bit of religiosity. I can't say the word.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it?
And his favourite church.
All right, yep.
Yes, Nick, you like to lurk about in churches, soaking up the atmosphere and obviously getting reacquainted with various bits of the Bible. Do you have any favourites to lurk about in?
Churches, the Brompton Oratory is my favourite church.
Yes.
It's in London.
Yes.
I haven't been to any churches here.
No. And how did you arrive at the Brompton Oratory? Was it by trial and error, or was that one of the first you walked into and enjoyed it so much you revisited it regularly?
I actually tested out a lot of churches, and in the meantime, while doing that, became so disillusioned by what I was hearing, I kind of gave it all up.
When do you have your first durry of a morning? Nick,
going.
No, I'll give it a go. When do you first light up? Is it before you have a cup of coffee, or do you have a packet beside the bed?
Well, it depends. I light up all through the night, actually. I smoke about every 2 hours.
Can you smoke while you're asleep?
No, I wake up especially to have a cigarette.
To have a cigarette?
I do, yeah.
Bloody hell, that's committed.
Look, it's interesting given what he said in that interview there. Look, when we did our last Nick Cave episode, about 4 years ago now.
Oh, was that long?
Yeah, that long ago, mate. You said, "Why is Nick Cave so miserable?" And you equated him with Lou Reed.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, and his reputation was built on that nihilistic approach to life. Take no prisoners. Let's do whatever you want and do it fearlessly. Leave nothing behind. So he's had some tragedies in his life, including the loss of 2 sons, Arthur and Jethro, for whom I've got ultimate sympathy for that. His addiction to heroin has been much discussed over the years. He described it himself as his chemical armour that protected him from the pain involved in feeling. Yeah, pretty heavy duty stuff. He's not a dumb guy.
Oh no, you could tell by that that humorous interview.
Yes,
he was playing along to it as well.
Anyone who can chime into Roy and HG has got a sense of humour.
Chug along and have a great time. And he's smart. Still look gloomy, but having a fun time.
Live, the show that I saw, this was an extraordinarily positive Nick Cave, on stage. One who looked like, as I said, he was enjoying it. He was not just, this is my art and I have to do it and I'm going to be tortured for it. This was a man who was having a great time. This was really good.
Despite the fact that, sort of talk about him being a bit gloomy at times, when you look at his blog on the Red Right Hand, he's actually quite jolly, if you know what I mean. Like I saw one there was someone said, "Oh, what's your favourite album?" Which is really kind of just corny shit to a muser, I think.
Remember I did that to Cale?
Yeah, I know you dick.
Jeez.
It's like saying, "Do you like Australia?" But he responded and said, "This is my favourite album." I can't remember what it was now, but he did actually, he talked about a couple of songs. And then he said, "But I've also passed this on to Warren, and these are his favourite albums." So he actually sort of took it seriously. He didn't sort of mock the person who was sending the email in.
And that's really nice. That's really nice. He's increasingly through Red Right Hand's file, the bloody file.
I think it's a blog of some description, but it's a website with a blog in it.
Yeah. And the title of it's taken from the Red Right Hand album, which was again
great
from
song.
The song from the album Let Love In,
Yeah.
which was
Great song.
30 years ago.
Is it that long ago?
That's when I was living down in Rutherglen.
That's the first Cale album I ever bought.
Oh yeah, wow. Cale, Cave, they're all the same.
They're all the same, gloomy old bastards.
Well, Cave and Cale have another similarity. They both dress well. And for this show, I mean, Cave has always dressed well, even when he was a little bit off the planet and a little bit in his chemical well. But this show, he came on in a tailored black suit, a collared shirt, no tie, totally relaxed and totally dapper.
Yeah.
Again, I couldn't believe how relaxed he looked, as well as happy. I spoke to the how they've got to have St John ambulances people at concerts just in case, particularly these rock concerts.
Yeah, I know.
I went up to the St John's ambulance volunteers, relatively young, as they are, and they were a little bit in the dark about who Nick Cave actually was. And I looked at the crowd, and so I went up to, I was just saying, yeah, there you go, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't look like you're going to be dealing with many overdoses tonight. And they said, no, we don't get that feeling.
No, it's more likely a cardiac arrest, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much clapping.
He did 2 nights running.
Oh, really?
In Wollongong. So he filled near filled the venue. It was only the seats up in the gods that weren't full for this second night.
That's a big venue, 5,000 really, for what really is kind of a regional.
Yeah,
so,
it basically is.
Because the new stadium they built in town is only 8,000.
Well, there you go. So he's filled that stadium.
Yeah.
The only seats that weren't sold were the ones that have crap visibility. The stuff there. Look, it's been a while since I've seen Cave live, so I didn't know what to expect. And as I said, my wife said I don't care if we go, but it was just absolutely.
Did you get it? Did they have choc tops or something like that there?
Oh, I had a choc top and a bucket of popcorn. That was
nice.
Good.
Happy days.
Yeah, and 2 glasses of wine, and
I like that.
So it's all catered. So it's civilised for grown-ups.
I went to the movies the other day and had a choc top, which was underwhelming.
Yeah, extremely. Yeah.
But if we go to the private cinema at the top of the mountains, they make their choc tops there.
Oh, that's what you need. Yeah.
But in winter, they also do soup. So you can have a cup of soup that they make in-house.
They don't put chocolate on the top, though, do they?
They don't, no. It's like a Nepalese lentil soup. Did they have any soup at the venue?
No soup.
Okay.
No soup for you. Look, but best, it's a bit of a silly word. When you're talking about concerts of this calibre, with artists of this calibre, and with this much history, I've not seen better. Yeah, look, I would be silly to say that this was better than every Cale show that I've ever seen, because it wasn't. But I've not seen better than this Nick Cave show. So on a par with the best that I've seen, which is. I saw him in the big.
It also depends on your stage of life as well. I mean, at the time when we saw one of the very first concerts we ever saw, we thought it was the best concert we ever seen, and that was Queen. And it still rates
still is
one of the best. We were lucky. We saw a really good concert first, early on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Still rates as a great concert, but I think I'd be more interested to see the Cave concert now than a Queen concert.
Yeah. I lost Queen a little bit after that period, but that's life.
Yeah.
I saw Cave at the Big Day Out, as I said, in 91 or 92.
Gee.
That was an outside show, and in summer, so it was nice, all good. And that's the one where I've got the tour T-shirt.
With the missing head.
Yeah, the silver. Thank you, Silverfish. Look, he managed to produce, direct contrast to this show, an explosion of sound. This is outside, and it was so explosive and loud and all-encompassing, this particular show. His creation of a bond with the audience. An outdoor show, you think, oh, shit, how's he going to do this? Stadium shows are notorious for, you see them and then you go home.
Well, you don't see them, you watch them on the monitor.
That's exactly right. So this was probably far back enough that, that it wasn't reliant on the monitor.
Yeah.
I think they had one, I think. But he created a bond with the audience, and it was a lesson to all the bands. As Jarrah was saying to us, they'd go to the Big Day Out and they'd see the big international bands playing and either get inspired or laugh, one or the other. But the way Cave controlled the stage, controlled the audience, was a lesson to all the up and coming bands that were there watching them. It was great. Call and response. which is an old, in the wrong hands, it's an old hack, rock and roll thing. But when Cave does it, it's almost like a religious preacher, with the fervour, that he's repeating words, and it's awe-inspiring. Yeah. Another highlight that he did from the new show, and that he used to do in the old show with Blixa Bargeld, who was a member of the Bad Seeds at the time, was the Weeping Song.
Oh, yeah.
And, see, Cave's not always doom and gloom and death and destruction. The Weeping Song, this is a weeping song. Right? And, it's quiet, it's calm, but it's still got packed solid, full of energy, and a couple of well-placed chords gives you a song that really is worth listening to. Blixa used to do he used his icy Germanic tones, and that's what Germans have, icy Germanic tones.
Is that all of them? Yep, that's all.
Every single one of them, from Hamburg to Berlin, and not missing out Bonn. Bargeld sang the verses and Cave did the chorus, and it was a highlight of the show that I just saw, and he did it by himself. Not that that's anything special, because he wrote the bloody song, but he was able to fill the space just with his own song, with his own voice and the piano and Greenwood's bass. And when you take a song that is so readily identified with the Bad Seeds, Papa Won't Leave You, Henry. You know that song? That's from Henry's Dream, which is a thumping, rollicking rock song by the Bad Seeds, and he did it with the piano, and didn't lose one iota of the quality of the song and the strength of the song. So it was wonderful.
I think no matter what the song, you can strip it back and make it a magnificent song
if it's well done in the first place.
If it's it's got to be a good song to start with. I think Nirvana Unplugged is one of the great MTV Unplugged albums. Very true. Yeah.
Another album that I'll put a reference to in the playlist is Live Seeds from about 93, I think. It documents Cave's approach to live work in the 90s. Yeah, very strong. Yeah, you couldn't envisage from listening to Live Seeds that 30 years later you're going to see him sitting on stage on a piano in a tailored suit. But this is not a cop-out. This is not a softening of Nick Cave. This is a different iteration of Nick Cave, and he did it so well. Look, I've mentioned before Nick Cave. Nick Cave, I'm going to use a pun here, and you'll see why in a moment, but he has a broad church of fans. Yeah, I've got. I've mentioned before my friend
Brompton Oratory.
Brompton Oratory,
Brompton
church
Oratory
in England. Yeah. He's. I've mentioned my friend Josh, who's the pastor of a local church.
Indeed.
Yeah, me talking to a pastor.
Weird.
Sort of worry about sort of contact infection or something like that.
If this turns into a religious podcast, count me in.
Look, I was talking to him about what episodes we have coming up and said, I got Cave coming up because I just saw him. And he said, yeah. Josh reads the right-hand files, the red right-hand files, and he can quote Cave's lyrics back to me.
Oh.
And he's always able to produce a Cave quote or reference to illustrate almost anything. It's when we do talk about music, it often comes back to Cave, and I just say, "What did you say then? Write that down again." And I just pinch his bloody lines. I think there's a sermon that I've just stolen from you.
He probably uses them in his sermon.
I say you should, You've got 70-year-olds getting up and call in response to Nick Cave. Way to go, Bear.
Yeah. He probably shouldn't use the line, "I don't believe in an interventionist God."
No, probably not. But there's other. But that was early in the piece for Cave, and his beliefs and thoughts. He was quoted very early in the piece that he liked the pomp and ceremony of organised religion, but for him the spirituality of a belief in a God figure was what he wanted, not somebody in a church telling him. But he's come round to thinking that the structure of a church can actually be of value, if it's done right. He's clearly not talking about American Christianity.
No, I don't know. But
which has got nothing to do with Christianity.
Realistically, churches existed early on to actually keep people
safe
in a group and
yes.
not leaving and to have some level of control over what people did.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's almost a religious podcast.
Should we go through the Gospels and talk about the discrepancies between the various Gospels and
the Gospels of John, Paul, George and Ringo.
That's them. And Luke, and talk about why are they different when they should all be the same, given that they're telling the same story.
We could, yes.
Could do that.
But I don't want to.
Okay.
Because I can easily get talked at by someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's,
okay.
Like I said, I just watched Mutiny in Heaven, and it's really relevant to watch the chaos-strewn early career of Nick Cave compared to the controlled man who's beaten his demons, dresses well, Nick Cave. But there was a quote in Mutiny in Heaven from Mick Harvey, who was Boys Next Door, Birthday Party, Bad Seeds, up until about 10 years ago. And he said, whatever was organised, Nick was going to rebel against it. And I thought, yeah, that's what, these are all just iterations of the same Nick Cave. There's been no loss of power. There's been no loss of the strength of his delivery. It's a couple of weeks ago was just as powerful as when I saw him in The Big Day Out in 1991. Yeah, just fantastic. Purely on the strength of what I saw, here's the nice closing finish for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Purely on the strength of the show that I just saw, I think it's fitting that Nick should be honoured by the Australian arts industry, if not the government, as a national treasure. In 2017, he received the Order of Australia.
Nice.
Yeah. And believe it or not, Nick Cave, Prince of Darkness, Chaos incarnate, was invited to the coronation of King Charles III.
Mick, on that note, thank you very much. Well, that's a wrap, and thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free. And if you like this, tell your friends about us. Also, contact us at mickandthefatman@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks very much. See you next time.